Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Pryor, and I'm the CEO of Community Technology, an IT-based company out of Washington, D.C. that focuses on education, infrastructure, and resources. Today, I'd like to talk to you about AI and how AI can impact the nonprofits. The area of interest that we are looking for is really how we can utilize AI to help capacity building for nonprofits. So the first thing we want to do is talk about the different types of artificial intelligence to make sure that everyone understands what's out there, what's coming, and how we can engage and use it for our own benefit and capacity building, like I had mentioned. So we'll be together for this Lunch and Learn. I'd like to thank Ms. Tiffany Turner for allowing us to be a part of this and make sure that everyone has a really good base knowledge of IT and AI and how it's working and how we can utilize it. So we'll get started. Let's see, we're going to. So, like I had said, the purpose of this is to show nonprofits how utilizing artificial intelligence can help with capacity building. Um, as we look at artificial intelligence, there are mainly three different types of artificial intelligence. There's the narrow AI, there's the general AI, and there's the super AI. And we'll break down the difference in these types of AI as far as their capabilities, so that we can understand how they're being used, how they're being implemented, and how we may be able to utilize them moving forward. So first, we'd like to talk about narrow AI. Narrow AI is sometimes called weak AI, but I don't really think that that's a proper term for it because it can do a lot. Actually, before we get into that, one of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that we all had a foundation of what is artificial intelligence. It may sound like a huge new thing, but in my view, automation has been happening since the industrial age, since the invention of the wheel. These are things that I feel were the starts to automation when we started riding instead of walking, so automation has been here for a while, so it's nothing to fear. It's just something to know that is out here and is a tool for us to use. So the objective of this particular Lunch and Learn is to educate nonprofit professionals about the different forms of AI and how they can be leveraged for capacity building. So when we talk about that, let's just make sure that we have a really good base understanding of what AI is. And AI is nothing more than a vast volume of data put into a machine, and that machine is able to give you information broader than the previous search engines that were out there. So it can, meaning that AI is nothing more than data being put into a machine, and a machine being able to report out on that data in different forms and fashions. So why is that important? It's important because the work that nonprofits do is not always digitized. So it's important for nonprofits to digitize that data so that that data can be put into these large volumes of subsets, so that the AI system or the AI framework can understand the complexities of our communities. And with AI being such a new phenomenon for usage, I think there is a lack of community data in these systems that make them valuable for us in our communities and how we engage, how we prepare, and how we execute. So moving forward, I think that data, as you probably already know, drives decisions and drives dollars. So it's highly important for us to understand that digitizing our data and being owners of data is a very important piece of all of this revolution of AI. And so when we want to start talking about the different types of AI, based on capabilities. I did mention narrow AI, general AI, and super AI. So when we're talking about narrow AI, these systems can't be performed. They have limitations. It targets a single set of data and is able to produce information based on that data. So a good example of that is the Siri, uh, the Siri system. I think Siri's listening right now, so she even gave us or IBM Watson, um, the chess playing, or I think actually when IBM played Ken Jennings, and the Jeopardy, and actually uh, beat Ken Jennings, who is a great. If you guys are Jeopardy fans, he's actually the host now, and he's a fairly quick-witted dude with random facts. So that's what AI now AI is limited. That's why they call it a now AI. So then when you talk about general AI is a lot broader than narrow AI. It's more going to the fears that people have about the capabilities of AI replacing people in jobs. And so when you're talking about general AI, it's normally um, programmed to act like a human, to engage and respond based upon the human interaction. So it's definitely more uh, sensor driven. It's still coming from a subset of data. There's no difference in that. It just uses different data points and different mechanisms to be able to respond. It doesn't do facial features and all that stuff. That's the super AI, and that's all the stuff that's coming up in the future. But general AI is definitely something that it, people are looking at as human replacement on automated tasks. So if you are a cashier and people are just coming to check out, okay, well, these things might be replaced. However, as we all know, we've gone through the cash register at plenty of stores and they haven't worked. So it's still something that needs to be worked out, but it's definitely at the forefront and it's definitely something that people are working out. And the reason why we need to understand this form of AI as well as narrow AI is because if you are a nonprofit focused on workforce development, understanding general AI and narrow AI could be really helpful in the sense that you, if you know that AI is coming and it's getting better, then the pivot in workforce development and workforce development training may shift because you would not be focused heavily on customer service related jobs or job training. And that's one of the reasons why this is highly important so that we can start preparing our communities and our constituents to be able to move forward in a productive and highly valuable manner with AI. And also, Microsoft also invested $1 billion in the general AI feature with ChatGPT, OpenAI. So it's coming. People are definitely investing in it. However, it's still something that people are working on as we move forward. And the human brain is still more powerful than than the AI that's out here right now. We just have to find the paths to execute it. Next, we'll talk about super AI. And the thing about super AI is that's what people ultimately fear with computers doing things over humans and it being able to evoke emotions, understand beliefs, and have its own desires. It basically is like a human android, and it is a possibility that that will be coming, and they are working on it. So it's just something to understand as it moves forward. Super AI is really the full-fledged, independent operating AI system. So now that we understand what narrow AI is, general AI is, and super AI, we want to talk about the actual AI that's in place and how it's being used and how we can use it towards capacity building. So when we talk about reactive machines, this is so when you look at AI, it's based on capability and functions. So we talked about the ones with the capabilities, which is now AI, general AI, and super AI. Now, when we're talking about based on functionality, we would look at reactive machines. So when we look at reactive machines are primarily a form of artificial intelligence that doesn't store memory. So if any of you play chess, it is a basic input output, and store uh, it doesn't have memory to store your past moves or to play against you based on how you played the last game. It's only playing from a current state, and it looks at everything from a current state. It's not going back and pulling out how you played before. It's only a current thing, and it's based on the input you input now. So that's a very big difference on as far as systems. And why does that system matter? It's because when you start talking about the ways in which we can use that, like we had mentioned on reactive machines, when you're looking at capacity building through reactive machines, which is what we're talking about with AI, you would probably look at like automated customer service, data analyst and reporting, and operational efficiency. So when you're talking about automated customer service, implementing AI-driven chatbots, I'm not sure if we know about what chatbots are just yet, but we can definitely um, talk about what chatbots are so we can make sure that everybody is aware of how to create one, how to use them, and how to implement them in your company. So automated customer service, I'm sure we've been on plenty of websites that have a chat bot that we put in there and it gets us to maybe a live person, maybe not, but however, it's still referencing data and interacting with humans in a humanistic way. Excuse me. Data analyst and reporting utilizes tools for analyzing large sets of data. This is great when you're talking about reporting and being able to uh, provide data to either your constituents or to your funders. And using this type of data will definitely, or using this type of AI, which is we're talking about reactive machines. This is how reactive machines and AI can help with your organization. When you're talking about operational efficiency, a lot of times people are understaffed, underworked. I mean, not necessarily underworked, that's the wrong term, but understaffed definitely. And sometimes the work, the workers, like when we went through COVID, if you have 10 workers and 7 are out with COVID, how do you fill the gap and how do you make sure that you're able to still produce and perform? Operational efficiency is definitely one of the ways in which AI can help, like on scheduling, inventory management, record keeping. These are the type of things that are definitely something that AI can utilize and do. So what we'll talk about now is the automated customer service and chatbots that we had spoken about. So when you look at chatbots, these are just virtual assistants that use natural language process, which we talked about, which is NLP. The natural language process is basically to understand customer inquiries and provide automated responses. Like we say, we're talking about reactive machines, and I'm not sure if anybody could utilize that. However, when you are swamped and understaffed, having chatbots as a virtual assistant through your website can definitely handle simple questions, order tracking, providing specific data and input to free up some of the people in your organization, or to provide additional support to the people in your organization. And some software that we could look at for doing this is Zendesk, Sunshine Conversations, Drift, and Intercom. We don't support any of these softwares. They're just examples of software that you can use in your organization. So it's definitely something to look at and see how you can implement if these are the things that you need, like automated customer service, virtual assistants. Um, and we also have like sentiment analysts, but the things that you really want to focus on are the chat bots, and these are just virtual assistants or virtual aides. The stock market is using chat bots. Elon Musk just launched a whole stock issue with chat bots, saying that he can guarantee you like 3% on your money, 3% return on your money. So they do work. They have to be programmed or created, and these are things that you guys as nonprofits can do and can learn. And the reason why I tell you about the software is so that you can understand the companies that are in this space. And so when you're looking for either employees or tools to use, these are some of the tools or the skills that employees need to come in with. And definitely Amazon and Google and Apple are leading, Microsoft, Apple are leading the way. So having a skill set in that base is something that is highly valuable. Um, Another area that reactive machines can be used is predictive maintenance, utilizing AI to uh, produce predictable potential malfunctions based on how they occur. Um, One of the things about that is office maintenance and on machines, on tasks, on things that are pretty much a set thing month to month. A lot of times these things are set, but sometimes we forget about them if we don't have alerts. And then when we have alerts, we need to actually know what to do when we do it. A chatbot can, or using it for predictive maintenance is something that can take that burden off of a company or an organization to be able to kind of mitigate some of those schedule maintenance issues and lack of downtime. Um, Another way is the FAQs. Having FAQs, and this is one thing that is highly powerful for organizations because you guys already have so much information on how to, where to, when to. Um, these are the type of things that people want to know. However, most of the time they have to call in order to be able to produce that, to get that information. So by having self-service portals and utilizing it in that manner can reduce a lot of the call-ins and can provide a complete repository of information for everyone to be able to easily access the information that maybe only two people in the organization has. So it's really important for organizations to start looking at how to take that information and digitize it so that it can be used in a chat bot, so that it could be used in reporting, so it could be used in your operational efficiency. These are the things that we want to make sure that you guys know that are out here and can be used. And some of the software that they're using in this space is Oracle, SAP Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Data Robot, C3.ai. These are all the things that organizations are using or can use to be able to implement reactive machine AI into their organization if that's the space that you need it. So we talked about reactive machines, and now we're going to go over to limited memory. Limited memory is a little bit more robust. It's a little bit more of what people are using on a day-to-day basis right now, and it's taking reactive machines the next step. And the reason why you want to know about reactive machines is the same reason why you wanted to know about Windows 95, Windows 97, Windows 90, was it Windows 98? I'm not sure, but then we got into XP and all this other stuff. So when you know the foundation, it's easier to understand the future. And that's why we're going over each area so that you can understand what it is and how to apply it. So when we're talking about limited machines, and let's go on to that slide now. Limited memory. So when we're talking about limited memory, these do have a short amount of memory. I shouldn't say short, but they do have a memory bank that they can drive, that they can pull from. And so when you're talking about limited memory, being able to pull from past data and understand how to make a better decision about what you did before is what limited memory kind of encapsulates. So when you're talking about that, you're talking about, as we have here, automated vehicles and vehicle assistance, and those type of things are how AI, a limited memory, is being used. But you can also use it to do predictive analytics, to analyze like past, and we're talking about capacity building in the capacity building mode, on how to analyze past donor behavior, predict future giving patterns, helping in crafting targeted fundraising strategies. So this type of information, based upon the data in which you provide, can give you this type of output. So it's always input and output. So what kind of data does it hold, and what kind of data do you need? And this is why it's important for nonprofit and nonprofit organizations to be a part of this and to start participating and building in these systems. So another way is personalized communication, where you can tailor your funding or donor list to a particular person. Like, oh, you may have 10,000 donors, and today is 5 of those 10,000's birthday, and you want to send out a custom message to just those 5. One, you need to know when their birthday is. 2, you need to know who they are. And then 3, you need to be able to craft an individualized message based on their past either giving or behavior. And so that data has to come from somewhere, and is immensely time consuming if one person has to go and finger through and find out all that information. This is where AI can help and make your organization seem more interactive and more in tune to your donor base, volunteer base, or the beneficiaries of any kind of programming or interaction that you have. Also for program evaluation, when you're talking about capacity building, program evaluation is one of the key functions of reporting. And so being able to deploy AI tools to analyze past program results and provide feedback and to aid in refining future projects and initiatives is highly important. And so you definitely want to make sure that if in need, or if AI is something that you can use as a tool, this might be a really strong area to utilize this tool in. So these are some of the kind of things that limited AI does. And if we want to go a little deeper into like the donor acquisition and retention, and we're talking about capacity building in this manner. So the donor acquisition and retention, by being able to maybe predict. I'm not sure if anybody's betting on the Super Bowl, but I guarantee you AI is doing a lot of the prediction and planning for who over Kansas City or San Fran will win the Super Bowl, or who will be the first person to catch a pass, parlay all day. So also with volunteer matching and engagement, as we spoke about, matching volunteers with needs, AI can analyze volunteer skills and interests and match them with suitable opportunities. That's hugely important because we don't have a lot of time to put people in positions that they're not strong in, and it's actually costly doing so. Also, by predicting volunteer churn, identifying volunteers at risk of disengagement. So it can really be a game changer as far as like identifying and supporting that whole volunteer piece and donor piece and being able to properly impact on your organization as far as data is concerned and as far as how people will be uh, normally engaging. And we also talked about the personalized communication, which is AI powered chatbots. Of course, you can use it in your emails. I personally probably should be using it in my email a little bit more because I get so swamped with unnecessary emails, and I'm not sure that um, I don't want to miss anything important. So it can go on there. The issue with that I have personally is the privacy factor of it, and I haven't gotten over that, but the emails keep piling up. So I think that there needs to be a compromise with myself and AI in the process of moving forward in that manner. Um, Also, when you're talking about like building out websites, being able to manage your social media, you can plan out your whole social media task for a year. You still have to feed it content, or you have to attach content to it, or a way for it to be able to obtain this content. But it is something that most organizations struggle with because in the social media world, you probably should be changing your or updating content at least 3 times a day. And that's the standard minimum for internet engagement. So AI can definitely support in that area. And it is something that you could definitely look at if that's something that you are in need of, and AI can support, can be a tool to support that. Um, Also, video messages. So AI is very strong. The limited memory AI is very strong in the aspect of what we are talking about. So I think a lot of people may fall in reactive or they may fall in limited. So these two types of AI, hopefully you've been able to kind of understand their ability and what they can do and how you can utilize them in your organization. So next, we really want to talk about the theory of mind and self-aware. This is the type of AI that is still under development. However, I think that within the next 3 to 5 years, it will be as if I think it'll be something similar to the way in which we are interacting with cash registers, like self checkouts, and self checkout is improving. It's just not there yet, but I think that within the next 2 years, that those kinks will be worked out, and the next level to all of this will be um, the theory of mind and self aware. And so we combine these, even though they're separate. It's just this is the future of what AI is, and just making sure that you have a complete understanding of where AI was, where it is, and where it's going. So when you look at um, theory of mind is, of course, as it says, a more advanced form, um, and it goes off of of beliefs, the belief system. It has more emotions. It's almost like a human android. So when you start looking at that, you're looking at things like uh, robots that using it in the medical field, using it in what to like counseling, using it for decision making, for things that for like program development. It will be a really powerful thing for you to be able to say, you know what, based on all the things that you know, should I do this? That's a very uh, different type of AI that's coming in the future, and it's going to be a part of us as far as we move forward. And so there are ethical things that happen with that, and this is why, again, nonprofits need to be a part of it. However, understanding what the capabilities are and how you can interact with it can change and modify or uh, basically make sure that the path that you needed to go on. It's going on that path. So if you wanted to advance interaction with beneficiaries or enhance decision making or improve stakeholder engagement by AI being able to understand perspectives and could facilitate better communication and engagement, then that's what we're talking about with the theory of mind and self-aware AI. It's pretty much an independent uh, artificial human being where in some places I know that there's a report that an AI robot got citizenship, that people are having robots as companions. And so as this moves forward, the usage of AI and how we engage with this tool will definitely modify, but we understand where it's going and how to be able to leverage it as a tool. So um, that's pretty much most of the basics of AI and how we can use the different reactive machines, the limited memory, and the theory of mind to do capacity building. So with that, uh, if you guys have any questions or if there's anything that you need me to go over, I'm willing to do. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time and hearing about how we can use AI as a way to capacity build for nonprofits.